Hey folks, Quilly here, and welcome to the start of a brand new Let's Play for Terra Invicta. This is going to be our second ever game of Terra Invicta. The first time we did a live stream, this time it's going to be YouTubed. Several patches have come out since the last time we played, changing the game pretty dramatically. The other thing that's going to be notable here is on the live stream, I played through the accelerated campaign. This time I'm going to be playing through the normal, very long campaign. As such, I'm not going to be recording every single moment necessarily of gameplay over here. What I can see happening is between some episodes, probably not the early episodes, but a little bit later episodes, I'll probably go and advance and progress a few things in between episodes to move things forward, because it is very long. The long campaign says it can take upwards of 100 hours to complete, and if we're doing, 30-minute videos, that's 200 episodes. That is too many episodes. That is not going to work out. So we will see what we can do. I might experiment with different editing formats as well. So we'll play by ear as we move forward over here. Now, those of you who don't know, Terra Invicta is basically what happens if you took a Paradox Grand Strategy game and mashed it up with XCOM, in particular with the Long War mod. And there's a good reason for that, is that some of those Long War developers are the people who made this. So it's, in a way, it's like XCOM, the Grand Strategy game. It's awesome. There's sort of three different phases to it. The first phase of the game is very Earth-based, as we're trying to establish our power base on Earth and build up some early resources. Then there's the early space rush, and then there's late game super big mega space battles versus the aliens. I mean, what? There are aliens in this game? Can't believe that. That's crazy. Anyway, we're going to be playing as the Exodus. Our first game, we played as Resistance, which is sort of the baseline, theoretically, experience I would suggest for this. But we're going to be playing as Project Exodus this time, because you know what? Earth sucks. Humans suck. We're just going to leave. We're going to leave everything else to default, the modern scenario, which is currently the only one in the game, the full solar system, all 8 factions, and yeah, we're going to be playing normal difficulty, and we're going to be starting the long campaign, which is sort of the default. We played accelerated last time. It was great fun, but we're going to play the long campaign. Now, we'll go through the little intro screens over here, the cinematics, cutscenes, and then we may do some re-rolling, depending on who our counselors are.
We remember the day the stars answered. The day we learned we were not alone. As a familiar sun rose on an unfamiliar universe, some of us saw wondrous possibility and others existential danger. The astronomers had insisted that the bright streak in the sky was no natural phenomenon. Most of us didn't really believe them until it burned through our atmosphere and crashed in a remote region, leaving only wreckage and uncertainty. In our ignorance, we fractured, taking refuge in our most primal emotions. Each of us saw what we wanted to see. It is disconcerting at first to awaken to an unfamiliar home, to open your eyes and see that everything you knew has changed forever. But unease has long been the price of wisdom. There comes a time when we must accept change, no matter how great. There comes a time when we must all leave home.
That's a pretty good line. Not gonna lie. Comes a time when we all must leave home. UFO crashes on Earth. An alien vessel crashed down in the Nanchang region of China. While the wreckage is unrecoverable, we suspect an alien life form escaped into the surrounding countryside.
Greetings, Director.
Sup?
The Council has appointed you leader of our organization. I am Khalid Al-Ashgar, your Deputy Administrator. The alien crash landing represents
How's your hero doing, Khalid?
Opportunity and great danger. As such, we have formed a small group drawn from those with particular expertise in astrophysics, intelligence analysis, and space exploration. We must learn what these creatures are, where they came from, and what they plan to do on Earth.
I recommend we send a counselor to investigate the crash site in Nanchang region as soon as possible. Other counselors may be best used in trying to gain influence in nations that may be able to contribute resources to our cause. All right, so investigate aliens. First thing we're going to do is we're going to see what our counselors look like and if we're willing to continue or if we want to do a little bit of reroll. What we're looking for early game is we need some people with high persuasion. Is the most important thing in the early game. And in particular, we want them to be able to control nation, ideally. We only need really 1 to control nation, although 2 would be really nice. We also need the sort of propaganda one, which Jared over here doesn't seem to have. Streetwise, teacher, anxious, academics. So we get some tech. Okay. 6 persuasion. A spy. Okay, a spy's a really good base class because they tend to be able to do a lot of things. In particular here, Letitia, even though a spy is usually going to be oriented on, say, espionage and investigation. Indeed, those are her 2 highest stats. She can do the important control nation and public campaign. It starts with persuasion at 6. Maybe not as high as we would like, but is okay. Undercover, aware, anxious, puppet master. Oh, we get some extra, is this the ops? No, influence, some extra influence. Okay, and this is maybe why she has control nation. It's possible the spy has control nation from the start. But even if she didn't, she would have gotten it from this. Government is a very powerful trait. Cynic is fine. She can't inspire, but okay. And suspicious is, yeah, so there's 2 reasons she can't inspire, even if that was something that she would have been able to do from the start. Aware's pretty good. Okay, I mean, we don't get anyone with the very powerful, we need less XP to level up traits. But I have to say, Letitia here feels pretty good to me. Gerard is maybe more mid. I don't love that he doesn't have the, what was it called again? The public campaign. So the public campaign over here, I'm a little disappointed that Jerry doesn't have that. Freaking Jerry, man. There's some free tech, which is nice. He's a little bit more easily detectable. Yeah, Pollyanna says apparent loyalty always appears to be 25. Streetwise. Inspire turn counselor. Yeah, so you do have inspire to boost the loyalty of other people. You know what? I don't think we're going to do a reroll. I think we're going to stay with these as is, which ain't bad. Jerry's got some XP. We're going to spend that. We could remove some traits. No, anxious, we're going to deal with for now. We're not going to give you affluent, which is 1 extra money per month, which is not a big deal. A lot of times I do look to boost admin early because we want to be able to throw a bunch of orgs on these people. And that is a really powerful thing to start snowballing. Man, this Altair Metals is like pointless right now and one of the greats later on. Anything that's got the space mining bonus is something that's a high priority later on. Yeah, I don't know if we're rushing any of these. None of these give extra admin. Okay, I think I will just increase your persuasion because it is so important for us to get that happening early. And then Letitia only starts with 10 XP, which is too bad. Because, yeah, again, it would be nice to give her persuasion. Survivor's a great trait. I mean, it's just +1 security all the time. Normally it costs you 20 to get that. So you may as well throw that on, and then it makes it harder to kill too. It's really good value for money, or value for XP. Affluence doesn't matter, but yeah, we'll probably boost your persuasion early on. And then the other thing we can do is look at our current team over here and look at recruiting another one. So the UI's been changed pretty substantially since the last time we played. Lots of extra, like very cleaner and some quality of life aspects in terms of where it shows things, especially in the tech tree is really nice. So there's a good chance we might want to save some extra influence to be able to pick up a 60, but we can take a look. Now, again, I'm probably going to be highly incentivizing or prioritizing, I guess is what I'm looking for, another high persuasion person for the early game. Or if we see anyone who's got one of the traits that gives them a discount on learning, that would be really good. Yoko here is a judge with government. Government's a really great trait. There's a limit to who can get government because it conflicts with some other traits. It's also, I think, really expensive. Is it like 100 XP to like add on to someone? I feel like it's something like that. I might be wrong about it, but that's quite good. Opinion leader is, yeah, honestly, the early influence income is actually pretty valuable. After that, the -2 espionage becomes kind of bad, but I guess it's not the end of the world. But quick learner is really good. We might prioritize picking up Yoko here as a judge. I don't remember. So the jobs they have here determine what missions they have access to as a base. And some of these professions are considerably more useful for that from others. This also sets their initial stats and can influence which traits they might have access to. But you know, the stats are what they are, the traits are what they are. So we don't care about that. I mean, if you're looking down the list and you see judge, you're like, oh, there's a good chance they'll have this or whatever. But other than that, really the thing that this influences is the missions over here. And, you know, we want people to have access to lots and lots of missions, especially some key ones. Again, under persuasion, you've got control nation, but you don't have the propaganda one, which is unfortunate. But you can fix that with orgs. I don't know. Some of these jobs, there are very few orgs that add, and some jobs have lots of orgs that add to it. But yeah, you're definitely a candidate because Quick Learner is so good. That was you. Jim Keck over here. Okay, I don't think any of these are particularly exciting necessarily. And then Stefano, another judge. You also have Quick Learner. You don't have government, which is too bad. And we've got a rebel, non grata, so he's not allowed to go to China, which is too bad. That's a pretty good country to be kicked, or a pretty big country to be kicked out of, which is no good. You even have enemy of the state. So you have like double reasons to not be able to do missions at home. Maybe not you. That was you. We've got a journalist. Journalist is a pretty good base ability a lot of times. Where did I go? Wolf. All right. And a tech mogul over here. Does have control nation and public campaign. Again, very early, very important early things. Computer scientist. No, I think of all of them, I think Yoko is pretty enticing here. Starting with an apparent loyalty of 17. We'll see what it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you 120? God damn. Probably because of Quick Learner. We might have to take something like the silly... I sort of skipped over you. I think I got too excited of, I don't know, something else. Vasily's actually a pretty good candidate for us early on. Good early persuasion. Criminal is a tag that is like government pretty good. Oh, he's quite old, but you might just be an early game person, right? Control nation, public campaign. Yeah, I think we might go for Vasily early. And then we might replace them later just as an age kind of thing, but you might be a good candidate. Anyway, so I don't think we're going to hire anyone on turn 1 over here, but we can keep them kind of in mind. Now, we got the UFO crash site over in China. Now, what I want to do, last time, we did a North American focus strategy where I think we started by picking up some influence in Canada, and then maybe also Mexico. And then we used that as a way to be able to get some better leverage over the U.S., picked up the U.S. I think we were over our control cap, so I think we dropped the other countries for a little bit, developed our control cap again, repicked everything up, and did some efforts to do some unification in North America. We didn't go like super ham on it, but we did that. And I think later on we expanded into like we did China and that sort of thing. So I think we'll probably look at the European start this time around, which we didn't do, but is also quite popular. Now, this is going to be a little bit dependent on what the various opinions of these places are. So if we take a look at Jerry, so let's say we just want to straight up try to control France. That's a pretty low chance. We can boost a little with influence, but we don't want to overspend. A couple pips is fine, and then it starts to double. So we might want to do that. We could do 22% to try to get a control point in France. Of course, what we can also do is we can send Letitia here to start doing some public campaigns over here, which will start to swap them over a little bit more to us. But I'm wondering, not just for the memes, if maybe what we do actually is we focus on Belgium, Luxembourg first. Oh, by the way, some people sometimes ask about what these triangles mean. For nations that are maybe a little smaller and a little harder to click on, they've got these symbols over here over some of the sea zones to just make it easier to select. You'll see that, and see these little islands over here, for example. Some of them are just very tiny and hard to click on, so that these triangles are just an extra click spot for those areas. That's all that is. There's no special meaning. So yeah, if we do that, because then we'll be a neighbor of France and might be able to get in there a little easier. It's tricky. Europe does get targeted pretty quickly by the AI, so it can be hard to slip in there. And you can see the Academy has a big amount of influence over here. Now that's going to change later when there's an event, but might be the way to go. Anyway, if we just look at Jerry with the Control Nation, you'd start at 59. I'm going to put 2 influence points in there to bring you to 75. And we'll have Letitia.
Ready for orders.
I mean, I could just have her do a second Control Nation. Her odds are a lot lower, but we could get maybe, there's a chance we get both control points, or, you know, just an increased chance that we'll get at least one, and then it gets a little easier. And it could also send her to investigate the alien site, which we're going to want to do. But I think what I'll do is I'll just have her do a quick little public campaign. I'll throw in the 2 notches of money. We don't have a ton of money. In fact, we've got a loss going on now. But this will be an 87% chance to get a successful public campaign. This will happen quicker. This is a 3-pip action versus a 5-pip control nation. So the public campaign will go off first.
I will try
Raise our public awareness here, which is going to increase Gerard's chance. I really want to get a toehold in one of these nations ASAP. And then next turn, what we might do is I might even consider sending Jerry out to go and investigate the site while Letitia just does more improve relations. We're going to want to go and deal with our science. We're not going to be able to... I guess, no, the science is already assigned, so it would unpause. The 3 basic projects over here, so for those of you who don't know, the top 3 bits over here, this is global research. Now, anyone can contribute to it. We get to choose how much we want to prioritize, right? We're making 48 science points per month over here, 1.6 per day, and we can choose where we're allocating it by priority. So if I did this, I'd be working on both We Are Not Alone and audience research. 2/3 of my tech would go here, 1/3 would go there. Now, for every tech that you do contribute, you do get that's explained somewhere, and I don't remember where. You do get a boost. So if you were to add up all of these, right, these 4 different things, if you add these up, it should come out to more than 1 point. Actually, no, see, it went up to 1.8, right? If I pull this back so I'm only working on one thing, right, that's where we can see, well, 1.8 or 48.8 per month. Notice the amount of science I'm producing is going up with every tech I invest in. But of course, I'm spreading my efforts. Now, these are all globally shared, advances all of humanity. And then at the bottom, these are the projects that are specifically for me. And what generally happens is completing one of these techs unlocks various projects. Clandestine cells is one of the very important projects early on. I believe that will give us more ability to recruit extra people. Yeah, clandestine cells would let us get to a 5th counselor, which, I mean, obviously we don't have those counselors right now, but it is pretty nice. So yeah, we could do this just to push humanity forward a little bit more. If we are the number 1 contributor to any one of these global research categories, we then have the ability to choose the next tech that we're going to research at that point, which is very nice. But at the same time, might want to be focused on completing my own little projects. Now, right now, the only thing we've got is these 4 infinitely repeatable projects that will grant us various flat and static things. Honestly, an early audience research isn't bad because we don't have that much influence. We might want to finish this just to help with our hiring. So I'm kind of okay with leaving this in here as the first one, but I don't know if I'll put any specific focus into it. I mean, I could. It's still not going to be ready until February of 2023. But this might be fine. All right, I think I'll do that. Anyway, we're going to confirm our assignments of our people. We are going to advance the game, so we're on speed 3. By the way, if you haven't seen this before, if you haven't watched the previous coverage or know anything about this game, that's Earth, that's the moon, that's the solar system, and we can visit all of these places. We can set up bases everywhere. We'll be building ships all those places. But for the first part of the game, we will be hyper-focused on what's going on our own little chunk of land over here. As Project Exodus, we do start with a space station around Earth, Tiangong Station, which is not actually very useful at all at this stage in the game, and is in fact basically just going to be consuming some resources. You can see here we're running negative water and negative volatiles. That is to maintain the space station. These things are going to be extracted from our boost if we had any. We don't have any boosts, so is it just costing us money instead? I'm not sure how that works, but yeah. Anyway, so we're just waiting here at the start of the game. Every 3 weeks is sort of a turn for the assets, but then that will accelerate. So it's semi-real time, semi-kind of turn-based, because in a sense, a turn is every time you get to assign your assets to do things, and right now that's every 3 weeks. The growing realization we're not the sole sapient species in the universe is causing many to see their fellow humans in new light, leading to hopes that we can overcome our capacity for strife to address the alien arrival as one people. I'm sure that's going to work out. Let us set aside our differences and go forward together. All nations gain 1 cohesion. All right, good for them. I'm not going to hold my breath. Let's go up to speed 4 and just let the time tick on.
Is moving in our direction.
All right, so public opinion has gone up in Belgium, Luxembourg, so that'll make it a little easier for Jerry. All right, select management team. Can now recruit our factions management team. As we stand up project exit operations, we're selecting our internal management team to help oversee our affairs. While we are gathering personnel from a variety of disciplines, at your discretion, we'll emphasize a particular specialty. So this is mostly just some early game bonus. So if we go lobbyists and influencers, then our monthly influence right over here goes up by 3. Scientists and engineers, this gives us 15 extra monthly research. Officers and operators, it gives us 50 of the ops. Now, I think in the past I've often gone with that because we don't have any ops income to start off with, and running out can be very annoying. So getting an extra 50 in the pool is pretty good. And financiers and investors, this increases our monthly money income by 10. By the way, I think by default, these values will be shown in daily. I have the option set to show me monthly. Although if we mouse over here, we can see the daily thing. So we are currently losing money per month, so maybe rebalancing that would be good. I think these have been rebalanced and tweaked in a few different ways. There's a lot of tempting stuff. I mean, tech is good. Influence is really powerful, and again, will help us hire some extra people early on. I do think just because we don't have an ops an ops income right now, I really think I might just do this. And I don't know if that's brilliant or not, but I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, so the UN Security Council has met to discuss the alien arrival. So now we have the choice as to whether we make our faction public or not. The more public we get, the more public opinion we get sending our way. So if we deliver our manifesto to the world, we get 50 influence, we get a public opinion boost around the world. We also leak a lot of information about ourselves to the other factions, which may or may not be a bad thing. The public opinion boost will make it a lot easier for us to take over some nations. On the flip side, if we remain in the shadows, nothing happens. We do get 30 ops. But I don't know if I need the 30 ops as much. We could also take a middle ground where we get some influence, some ops, and a small public opinion boost. I think we might go and make our manifesto public on this particular run. I think we will say far and wide, you know what? Earth is only one place. What's that quote? Earth is like the cradle of humanity, but you cannot live forever in a cradle or something like that. You know, at some point we got to move out. I think we're going to make ourselves public on this run. So,
they are here to cleanse our
and then the other factions are also getting that choice.
saviors, and all who oppose them are enemies of the future.
And so we may or may not hear about these factions right now based on how public they were. The servants went public, or they went the middle route and we still learned about them. That's entirely possible. The servants, these are they're like, you know what we need to do? Bow down to the aliens. They are superior to us in every way. We must obey them. They are our masters. The servants suck and we hate them.
Our only hope is to understand what the aliens want with us and determine how to satisfy them without losing our independence.
The Protectorate are like, the aliens are scary and we need to bend the knee to them so they don't destroy us. Both of them are very much like super ultra like pro-alien factions with just different levels of extremeness. Oh, those are the only two. Okay, so we haven't heard about Humanity First yet, or the Initiative, or the Academy. So we don't know anything about them currently, but so be it. All right, let's keep going for now. Bring the speed up to a 5. We've detected an enemy councilor in Brazil. This is again probably part of the intel leak. They almost certainly know. Yeah. Both of our counselors are known to absolutely everyone else. I think it's way too early. There's not going to be any assassinations or anything like that. We're not at war with any factions either, so it's perfectly fine for them to have vision over our counselors early, I would say. All right, control mission has succeeded. We've got a control point in Belgium. Lovely. So one of the things we're going to have to start to do is determine our priorities for how we spend our development. So this is the country management screen. Well, let's go from the top to the bottom. So each country has a number of control points. The smallest countries have 1 control point, and the biggest countries, I believe, max out at 5 control points. Each one of these kind of represents a group. So we currently control mass media in Belgium. We do not control the legislature or the executive. The final control point is always the executive. If there's only 1 control point, it's just the executive, and that's it. The executive branch has the most control over the country for setting like alliances and that kind of jazz. One of the interesting things is you cannot pursue the executive branch unless you've got at least 1 more control point over here. Obviously, that doesn't apply to countries with just 1 control point. If we were to go and grab the first 2 control points in Belgium, it would make it impossible for anyone to come in and grab this third one because it is locked unless you have these first 2. And so our priority is probably going to be to grab the first 2 in Belgium, and then we'll decide over here. Each control point we get costs some amount of control point against our cap. So Belgium is 7.97 per one of these, and right over here we have 143, and yet we're currently using our 7.97 for this first pip. The more prosperous and wealthy a country is, the more expensive each control point is. So if we can take a look at France, which has 4 control points because it's got a bigger economy, and they are 16 each, so double the value of the control points in Belgium, and there's 4 of them instead of 3. So it would cost a lot more for us to get some influence there. Okay. So yes, policies. So currently, Belgium has a flawed democracy. It has very low unrest. It is peaceful. We can see its GDP over here. We can see its military tech, whether it's got navies, and then general sort of demographic information over here. This is the per capita GDP. This is the sustainability, so how much pollution is going on. Their tech level is at a 9, which is very good. Their income inequality is low, which is wonderful, although it is rising. And their integration here, their cohesion. So the cohesion reaches from 0, where nobody in the country gets along, to 10. Everyone thinks in exactly the same way. High cohesion countries are very stable, but that uniformity can lead to a reduction in sort of creativity, right? The sweet spot for tech in particular is a cohesion of 5, perfectly balanced between unity and diversity. And so there's a good chance we're going to be pursuing that later on. Now, over in the development square, this is quite important. We have our monthly investment points. So this determines how well this country can develop based on their points. Now, as part of a union, some of those will go, some of these categories, so the funding and the boost will be shared within all countries of the European Union. And over here, we can see how much I'm getting in particular. So right now I'm getting about 1/3 of the investment points because I control 1/3 of the control points. So I can choose where those investment points will go over here. Now, as our escape faction that we're playing as, the default allocation we can see here with the points, 1 pip in economy to grow the economy as a whole, which will increase how much development points are there. 3 pips in knowledge, 3 in funding, 3 in found space program, and 3 in mission control. The actual pip numbers don't do anything in and of themselves. What we're looking at is the share over here, and this determines how we are splitting these investment points. So, what I can do is I can do this. So for this control node, I could put 100% of my 1/3 into economy, for example. And you can see this results in a share of 44% because you got to look at all the pips as a whole to see how this works out. Our priorities early on. Well, first of all, in every country we have, we're going to want to max out the mission control because later in the game, this is one of the single most important things there is. An investment into early game funding is quite good as well because this is constant income that comes in nonstop. Spoils is us using corruption and bribery and stuff like that to just extract money for us privately. Spoils makes money very quickly, but ruins the country a little bit, whereas funding is a long-term investment for steady income. I might take a beat before I go and actually invest in the mission control. Early on, we might even be more tempted in the space program, which would lead, if we establish it, would lead us to start to generate boost, which we're going to need. But hopefully we'll make the run to Kazakhstan and get some boost out of that for the early game. I'm sure we're going to develop some of this as well. There's more categories here than the previous time we played. Certain things have been broken out. For example, environment used to be part of welfare. Government used to be tied to both knowledge and unity in a couple of different ways. Oppression used to be tied to the military funding. And there might be something else too. And of course, there's also going to be differences in the space defense because now we've got these little fighter things that can happen. That's probably tied to the space program as well. We might have to do some early game spoils to get some early cash. It might not be the dumbest thing in the universe. Now, this exclamation mark here says that based on our current things, right? If this priority has a warning symbol, the nation's elites are receiving insufficient spoils to fulfill their desires. Elites in the nations require at least 12% investment pool directed to them, a value that will decrease with investments in education and democracy or very high national cohesion. When the elites are dissatisfied, coups d'etats are more likely to occur. I don't think I'm terribly scared of getting coup d'etat, But it does help to justify perhaps a little bit of spoils here. We've also got a note for the welfare. That's interesting, because it is getting a fairly substantial investment, but maybe not enough. Priority has a warning symbol when inequality is high or is increasing. I think it's because, so the inequality is low, but it is currently increasing. This can be countered with some investment in welfare, but we don't see an immediate feedback to this because we don't know how this is going to shift until time has started to pass again. So we'll put that in there. Do I want to set up the perfect government here? I mean, eventually this is going to be absorbed into France. You know what? Honestly, I might be fine with just this. Like, keep your economy up. I don't want to ruin it with the spoils, but we're going to rip some of it out to help fund ourselves. Well, you know what? Hold on. This, I'm only going to be a third of the value of this. We're ruining the country, but we're not getting maximum value right now. You know what? Maybe I'll wait. We can put some pips into Unity, even though their integration is very high. What this Unity, one of the things it does is it increases the public opinion of the factions that have control over some pips over here. So a little bit of investment in this might not be bad to keep the public opinion a little higher. And you know what? I'm just going to do this for now. Yeah. You know what? This actually will be helpful in the short term. Okay. Let's unpause some more. Whee! Enemies are planning. All right, we got another planning phase. I do want to take a second control point over here.
Standing by.
And I think I might get Jerry to do it. I'm going to spend 2 pips of influence again. You know, we almost have enough for our judge here, actually. Which I think we might still wait. All right, Letitia, let's go and investigate the alien activity before things go on for too long. Confirm assignments.
We can join them as brothers and sisters.
We met the Academy.
If we only convince them we are worthy.
So the Academy's kind of delulu. Yeah, they think that the aliens are probably actually cool as long as we prove that we're like successfully, like we're sufficiently technologically advanced species. Then they'll like us. Yeah, that's not going to work out for them, but you know, I appreciate their optimism, I guess. Something like that. So hopefully we'll get this one with the 86%.
Recon complete.
There you go. And the investigation always works out. So we get a small bonus to our xenology research going forward.
An amazing turn of events, Director. Let us hope they have come in peace.
So we can see here right at the bottom of this tooltip, we now have a 1% bonus while we're researching xenology. Every time we investigate one of these, we get a little bit more percentage. We get the 15% life sciences bonus from one of our counselors having that trait. And there we go. We're going to get some more influence and we're going to get some more tech from this. Lovely. And then we have a new mission. Research alien signatures when it becomes available. Okie dokie. Is that judge still available? Yeah, and at 120. All right, let's pick up this judge. Confirm. All right, and we'll put her to work on our next stage. New project available. Fulfills objective. Research alien signatures. Great. Okay, I'm gonna set it as favorite as a little marker to remind us. And there we go. We did get the extra control point in Belgium, Luxembourg. Lovely. I'm just going to click here. What this is going to do is going to copy over this rule set. But I might not go for this final point right now because I might want to go and work on France, for example. And I think that's very likely going to be the case, which probably means I think Letitia's the only one who's got the ability to do the public campaigning, right?
Ready.
And we just don't have any money. Okay, so I'll just run it at a 62%, which is far from ideal.
Where do you need me?
Oh, does Yoko have any XP? You do have some XP. Meania Darling, the Espent now. All right, no, we're just going to give you the extra pip in Persuasion. Unless I start to boost... Well, you've got 5 points of administration. We don't have the money for it anyway. And... Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a quick learner. Nice. Then want to have enough XP? No. Okay. All right. More persuasion early on is going to be great. So we're just going to go and run a control nation here with 2 extra pips and influence. 61%. Don't hate that. Jerry, how you doing? Much less good, but we'll do the same thing. A couple pips of influence, bring you up to 38%. If we get lucky, we'll get 2. If we get really unlucky, we'll get 0. Statistically, we're pretty likely to get 1. And that's not too bad. And it might get a little bit better, again, if Letitia succeeds in her public campaign here in France. That's going to be gorgeous. So, confirm assignments. We'll have to save up some more influence to pick up our next counselor, although we are making a lot per month right now. I mean, for this stage of the game.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
Wow. Plus 5% opinion in France. That's great for us. So, Humanity First has moved into the Netherlands.
Significant support.
Excellent. We've got our first control point in France.
Our supporters are...
And we got two. We got 2 control points. Councilor was detected in the Paris region. We can go to ground. I mean, again, all of our councilors, well, maybe not Yoko because she's brand new, but our councilors are going to be very easily detected. Whoa! Oh, that's frustrating. The same turn we did it, the Academy moved in, and they succeeded in 2 rolls. This order is annoying. If we had gone second, I think the player has the advantage. I think I think our rolls get processed first. Maybe there's some randomness. I don't know. But we went first and we grabbed these first 2. And then the Academy went second and they grabbed this and then that. If the order had been inverted, the Academy would grab those 2 and we would have done this and we would have ended up with the Executive. Eventually there's going to be an event that is going to cause all the Academy's control points to get cracked down, and we'll be able to move in and purge them. We probably won't worry about them until then. We're just going to accept this, and we're going to look to spread our influence for other places. It would have been great to grab the Netherlands. We might be able to make a move on Germany next. Might be a good play here. Or we start looking at grabbing all the very small ones. I don't know if we grab how many of the small ones we grab until we're ready to integrate. We will see. But I don't have to actively do anything here right now, which is at least good. So Letitia, again, with the public opinion. I think we're going to send you to Germany.
I will tell our story.
Yeah, you tell our story. That is quite low.
Reporting in.
I could inspire my people. That's probably not required right now. Okay, we'll just try a low roll on this. I'm going to stop spending influence for a second.
Ready.
And do that. And then in France, we'll do... What are we going to look to do? Probably a little economy, maxed out knowledge. Probably would like a perfect government. Yeah, you're at the sweet spot of 5 right now. I think we'll do this. A heavy investment. Oh, you know what? We could use a little bit of welfare too, just to make sure to keep the income inequality low. It is a 3.2 and dropping right now, but I think we'll set up something of this nature. And of course, we have no control over whatever's going on there. What is... Oh, that's the share, right. I was like, what is the share button? No, it's the share of income. So yeah, we're going to push this way. That's going to have to be okay. We'll do a little bit move on Germany, which might be a little trickier, but we'll see what we can do. All right, confirm assignments. We got positive money now. We got extra funding from France. But yeah, a little bit of splitting. A little bit unfortunate. Maybe I should have just YOLO'd France from the start. I gotta say, despite the fact that Letitia hasn't had the highest percentage rolls on her public campaign, they've always worked out, so that's nice. And yeah, we're at 48 of 158 of our control points. Our number of control points went up because we got an extra higher. Okay, there we go. We got a point in Germany, and we failed one. That's our first fail. So the Academy is heading up into the UK. Hey, there's an alien fleet orbiting Earth. Alrighty.
The trick is not to look directly at what you are trying to see. Offset your focal point somewhere to the side of where you think you notice the movement. At night, the center of your vision doesn't work as well as during the day. I won't try to explain the science to you. What matters is you'll see whatever is out there before they see you. Colonel Hans Castillo, advising conscripts in Colombia.
So, this allows all factions to track alien vessels and structures that are inside the orbit of Saturn. It immediately reveals all alien vessels and habitats within our detection range. Okay, we are not alone. We definitely want this to run because I believe... Right, okay, that's clandestine. Mission to space. I guess I don't need to worry about this as much. Any chance we could get in the front here? Probably not. Probably not at this point. December. Because we kind of are going to want to go immediately. Oh, it's not going to unlock the clandestine cells right away, so it doesn't matter. I can't remember. What's the one that makes people know anywhere in the solar system that they're hostile? That the aliens are hostile, which breaks the Academy for a little while. It might be part of the deep space. I'm not sure. We Are Not Alone? It might be We Are Not Alone. I mean, we can try to push. All right. Confirm assignments. I think we're going to keep
Making our
doing work in Germany here. I'm not worried about securing my control points right now, because again, I'm not really expecting anyone. We're not at war with anyone, so I don't think anyone's going to try to do some purges or coups or whatever against us right now. Oh, hold on a second. Hang on a second. I'm being dumb. I need Kazakhstan. Double pips.
Establishing our presence.
A public campaign.
for my mission.
I mean, we could just coup these guys as well, which is one way to do it a little faster, but I think we'll just go with a direct little control. A little bit of investment. We'll try to control Kazakhstan, control them for half a year. We can take them out of the Eurasian Union, which is important because right now they're going to be splitting their very valuable boost with Russia. And we're going to want it all to ourselves. Okay, select advisory team. Now appoint our faction's chief advisors. So we can focus on economic development. So national investment points towards economy are boosted by 10%. Always good. National investment points towards space programs and boost priority are increased. It's very topical for us who want to leave. Call in the generals, boost military and build army priority. Or we could boost welfare and knowledge, which are always going to be run and are also super valuable. Yeah, all these are pretty amazing. I mean, if we can invest in economy early, build up the country's development points, then, you know, it just keeps snowballing, which is really good. Getting boost early is really nice. None of these boost mission control, though. You know what? We're going to go and hire some steely-eyed missile women and men because it fits the Exodus plan a lot.
Our supporters are in place.
All right, we got the first pip in Kazakhstan.
Got our people in
And we've got the second pip in Kazakhstan. Okay, so we have full control over Kazakhstan. And yeah, what we're going to want to do is we are going to want to... I mean, we could manage relations immediately. We don't have the executive anywhere else, so there's not much to do over there. But what we want to do is we want to leave the Union. And there's a... There we go. Cooldown for normalized relations, alliance federations, and unifications. So in September... Really, September 2023? Nearly a year? To be able to make a change over there? Consolidated power in 180 days. Anyway, we're going to be looking to leave the Federation once this timer is up, because our goal here is going to be to generate as much boost as possible. Well, we're still going to want to invest in the boost here. Let's do no spoils. We'll do the pip of welfare to try to... I mean, it's rising. How quickly? We might want to stabilize it, like get the government stable, or we could just embrace full authoritarianism. That's also fine. By keeping up with the oppression. There's a lot of strife here. So by investing in oppression, it will help to lower the current instability. Make things more authoritarian, but that might be fine for us over here. Do I even want to invest in the welfare or the economy? I might want to go like 100% boost with a little bit of oppression just to make sure these guys don't get too cranky pants. I might even be able to lower the oppression investment a little bit if we use our people to lower the unrest through direct activities, which we'll probably do for some. Yeah, I think this might have to be okay. So what we're doing here is we're investing in boost. So we are doing 7.4 points of investment, and we are going to be putting 75% of that into the boost. So every month it's going to, every day it's going to increase. And every time our investment in boost crosses the 2 mark, right, which is going to happen, math is hard. Like if this was 6... No, if this was 8, let's call this 8. That means we're putting 6 points into this every month, which means every third of a month, we're going to accumulate enough to trigger a point of boost, which is going to be over here. Now, this boost is being split, as you can see. It's being shared with the Federation. And anyway, out of all this, we are going to earn a 0.31 boost per month currently, out of the 2.5, because most of it is going to the Eurasian Union, and most of the Eurasian Union is controlled by Russia, so really it's Russia that's currently benefiting the most from the boost. So we want to bring Kazakhstan out of the Eurasian Union so that it'll all go directly to whoever directly controls these control points, which will ideally just be us. But we can start doing the investment in boost right away. That's going to be good. And boost is one of the ways that we go to space and do space things. It's really valuable early on and then becomes less important later on. But yeah, early on, it's probably the most valuable thing we can invest in. Later on, the mission control is probably the most valuable thing we can invest in. All right, now what are we going to do with our folks? Well, first of all, we're going to check to see if anyone have enough XP to get some extra level ups, and there is. And Letitia, we're going to want her to work in other, like, more spy categories later on. But for now, I think we need... Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to start investing in administration, which administration is used to control orgs. So we're going to start investing in that now for her. And then we're going to want to get her espionage quite high, because as a spy, she can do a lot of espionage missions. So that's going to be good. Okay, so that's there. What we might want to do is a little bit of like control and who's got...
Ready to go.
This is to increase unrest. We not have anyone who can lower unrest? Ah, there we go. Stabilize nation. Yoko, you're going to do a stabilize nation mission in Kazakhstan. Just try to bring down that strife one level. And again, right now I'm not protecting my control points. I'm hoping that we don't need to. Maybe that's naive, but that's what we're going to do. I am tempted to grab the first 3 pips in Germany here just to make sure no one else can grab the executive. And we might indeed work on that. Letitia, go ahead and do another popular opinion thing. So we're at 18%. Yeah, we'll do one more without any further investment, and that'll have to hopefully be okay. And then we'll drop a control over here. Yeah, that is pretty low. But we'll give it a go. We'll boost it with a couple of influence.
Putting our people.
Let's see how that works out. And then we're going to go shopping for another agent relatively soon.
Violence is a...
Because yeah, we can have a 4th one right now. There we go. We reduced the unrest a little bit. I guess one of the things we can check is over here, depending on the resting point. I don't know if it's in this tooltip or the other one, but depending on what the resting point is versus what it is right now, the lower unrest can do bigger or smaller amounts of
Public
things.
sentiment is increasingly with us.
Wow, you keep crushing the PR jobs. That is very nice.
The Surat al-Baqarah teaches that in the creation...
All right, the servants have pushed forward mission to space.
May find the signs of Allah. Let us heed those words and join together as we take our search into the stars.
Hey, that's me. Well, that's not me. That's the leader of the faction. I'm some agents of doing this. Okay, so we're definitely not going to come out on top with the "we are not alone" here. And it's going to pass on its own. You know what? I'll just move over. Oh, Deep Watch. Maybe I'll just invest in this and see if we can take the lead. You can see these little highlights over here. So this is something that's new. This is now predicting right now that we would come out on top right now. With the current spending rates of everyone, we would be the ones to take the lead on this particular project. Even though we don't right now, technically, it is the servants, based on this, who have invested the most tech into this category because they have 3. I mean, this just ticked over, so it's kind of meaningless. But yeah, right now they're in the lead. They've contributed 44% of it. But right now, based on current spend rates, we are now predicted to come out ahead. This is new. We didn't used to have this information, and it's really nice. Okay, and I would like to do that. Now, people might adjust their priorities, and that might change. And we may have to go and kill some investments and other things. But we're going to try to take control of one of these categories if we can.
We must not only defend...
We met the resistance. All right, nice to meet you. Failed to control. We had a 59% chance. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to send everyone on a control mission in Germany. Theoretically, if everyone succeeded here, do I still want to do 2 pips of influence? I think that's fine. I know I didn't do on the first one.
We'll be running this place in no time.
Yeah, let's do this and there. If I get all 3, we'll have full control of Germany, which is theoretically not required right now. I really want to get 2, make sure no one can grab the executive out from under me like they did in France. But if we get full control over Germany, that's not going to be the end of the world. And the control point cost here is about 20. So if we get all of it, it's an extra 60. We'll be fine. We'll be sitting at mostly our cap, but it's going to be okay for now. All right, let's confirm the assignments. Your characters get XP every time they do a mission. Succeed or fail. I think maybe succeeding gives you more, but I'm actually not even sure about that. And it's possible different missions give different XP. I don't know. But as long as your counselors are active. All right, that's one.
We still lack support.
That's a fail.
The dreamer in me wants to believe it would bring a golden age of advancement and prosperity for all mankind. But I'm a realist. I know better. Any race advanced enough to find us would be advanced enough to end us, likely without even regarding us. Commander Fiona Ayawade, NATO Symposium on First Contact.
All right, so global research We Are Not Alone is complete. It will unlock the clandestine cells project. It's got a 100% chance that it will unlock the clandestine cells project. Now, there's still a percentage roll per month for when it unlocks. So we don't know when this is going to become available for us. Whoever completes the project gets a boost to this, which first of all can turn something that only has a smaller percentage chance, maybe 50-50 chance that you'll get access to the project. It increases that percentage chance, but it also increases the odds of like when it arrives. So Humanity First will likely have access to clandestine cells before the rest of us, but that'll hopefully be okay. All right, we just finished the audience research project, so that's going to give us 25 more influence. We can go shopping for an agent again, although we would have been over 60 on this tick regardless. And then the cost goes up. So you can see here the audience research went from 100 to 200 research to repeat. If we needed some money, we could do that, which would maybe help us get some of those some orgs, but we'll see. And then we can repeat this if we do need some more ops. But we'll go and get our alien signatures. It's only 25. It's part of the main quest. Allows us to detect alien abductions on Earth. It's going to open up some useful stuff for us. See, right now, it's predicted, even though we have invested the most into Deep System Skywatch, right? At 41. Right now, the Resistance is putting more points and will take the lead if unchecked. Now, if I go, and pull some of my support from some of these other projects, then we would get this trending this way again. I'll just do the minimum to try to stay ahead here, but we'll keep an eye on things and see what we can do. Let's take a look at our agents here and consider who we might recruit. These do refresh from time to time. We'd seen you... I don't know about these others if we saw them. Now, right now, we can afford to be a little bit more picky. Government Survivor, Cautious, Hard Target, Unifier. Okay, like we're going to want to branch out into different categories. A command-focused person is not necessarily the early priority, but... I mean, we've got some coup d'etat. You can do the stabilize, can keep busy doing this. I mean, you can try control nation. This number over here tells me how many people I already have doing this. So we can see who unlocks. So this is going to have a protect target. We don't currently have anyone who can assault the alien assets and the enemy assets in space and things, which we don't necessarily need to do right now. I mean, you can do inspire. I mean, you're not going to be persuasion based though. That's not bad. Yeah, Grant Tofile is certainly not a bad pick. Another spy is also not bad. You have a crew? Oh, interesting. You're an addict. Income. It's not ideal. But government trait. And you can see you've got a ton of missions. Spy is just a really good profession, because they do actually start with a lot of missions, and some of these may have been enacted by some of these things as well. High espionage, which makes sense. I mean, we could also pair you with investigation for some of these, although maybe you get a researcher. Are you worth picking up? We will need a criminal at some point. I don't think we've got that, because I think we've got government kind of covered already. You are very tempting. And then officer's another good base one. Why are you so expensive? I mean, you got government, but the other one already had government. Protect target. Yeah, you got all the command stuff over here as well. I don't know who we're going to pick up. I think it's probably time to put in a cut. This has been fairly long as is. But I think we've done some good work to get started. We shall see. It'll be a bit of a question mark if the next video starts up immediately after this one, or I might let a little bit of time advance in between things. We will see. I'm going to give it a little think. Folks, hopefully you're as excited for this series as I am. I really like Terra Invicta. I had a great time with the first run, and I'm very eager to do a run on this new patch. I'll see you later, folks. Bye-bye.